All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome to wasmCloud Wednesday for Wednesday, August the 6th. I actually am a bad host and didn't put this on the community meeting agenda, but it really just makes my job easier because I don't have to share my screen. We have kind of a demo discussion hybrid that Mike here is going to lead out. I mean, we've been talking about a couple things in the wasmCloud Slack. Looks like over the last week or two. Mike, I think you posed this as like potential bug slash misunderstanding of wadm. So yeah, I really love to see some of the things you've been hitting, especially as you start to launch like your product at a specific scale. And maybe we can talk about what's missing or what's a bug or anything like that. Does
Yeah,
that sound good?
sounds perfect. Yeah, I'll walk everybody through and we'll take it from there.
Amazing.
In an ideal world, somebody's just gonna unmute and tell me like, "Look, you misunderstand," and that problem solved. Well, let's see. So basically, if you've been here before, you've seen my pipeline platform. That's now at a point where I have some people using it, and what I tried to do was I have a bunch of components that I deployed to wasmCloud. And customers of my platform, they use them without even knowing they're using them. Now, what I did is I updated one of those components. I added new features. So I increased the version of that. I deployed it to my registry. And then what I did is I have a script that goes through all the running pipelines, updates them, the wadm file, increases the version by one. And I was hoping that wadm would then redeploy that application or that component with the new image that I pointed to. That didn't happen. And what I then was curious about is like, okay, that's probably me. So I took a Hello World, HTTP Hello World Rust template, and I was able to reproduce it. So I'm going to walk you through that, and then we'll see what is going on here. So first things first, share my screen. Um, all right. What I have here is, as I said, it's the regular out-of-the-box Hello World HTTP Rust example. I did add one thing. I added an import for the config. And this is where I started to see the issue. Now, easy enough. And then I added my config to my component. So regular HTTP component. The other thing I did is I changed the image from a file path to my local registry where I deployed that component. And I think it didn't happen when I used the file. Don't quote me on that. But anyway, if I have an image, that's what's in production, right? There's an image link to a registry. It points to my component 001 at the moment. And if we look at that component, you can see that the only thing I added here was this. So a config reading here from get all. So whatever is in there, I'll read it and then I'll print it out. Now, if we look at the terminal, I have my wasmCloud logs on the left. Up here, I have an empty host. There's nothing deployed at the moment. And I can deploy that application deployed. You can see some logs, do those a bunch of stuff. And then here, I'm going to do a curl to that component. So when I do that, you can see that the config gets printed, property name value world. Excellent. That's what I expected. Now, in the real world, this was deployed for a while. And then I came in and I made changes to the component. I updated it. I deployed version 002. So now if we go back and we change our wadm file, first thing we need to do is increase the application version because we already have one on 001. And then here I'm changing the component version as well to 002, which I already deployed to my local registry. Now, if I go back and I redeploy that application, you can see successfully deployed 002. Looking good. Over here seems to be okay as well. I think there's some warnings, but I'm not sure if maybe that's the issue. But anyway, now if I hit that again, make some space here. I hit the component again. Now what we see is, let me zoom in a bit. The config is empty. And what happens is if I were to go back and redeploy version 003 of the application, so just increase the application version, but not the component, the config would be back. And that really puzzled me. So I was like, okay, something's going on. But I believe if I, somewhere in here as well, I found a note here, this one here. It is saying that requested to scale existing component to a different image reference. And then it's saying that 001 is not equal to 002. The component will be scaled, but image reference will not be updated. So that also means it wouldn't actually take my 002 image to deploy. It would still use the 001 is my understanding. But also I lose the config. So I think there's a few things going on, but I really just wanted to show that to people who have a better idea of what is happening here. Or if not, then at least maybe somebody has thoughts or but yeah, I think two things are happening. I lose the config, number one, but also it doesn't actually use my new image reference. And in the code somewhere, I found a path where it goes either way, like scaling or updating a component. And I wonder if it maybe for some reason goes in the wrong path. But I'm going to just stop for a second and see if anybody has any input or thoughts.
Yeah, Mike, thanks for, doing the demo to like really show this off. I'm glad at least it's reproducible.
Yeah.
You can see the, consistent thing. Um just to maybe level set, I think you're doing all the right things here. I didn't see anything that like raised a red flag, like anything that needed to update or whatever. You're doing the right thing.
Okay, good start.
And I think your intuition there is right around the, warning around scaling and everything. Like when you deploy a new version of this application and wadm sees in the diff that the image reference changed, from 001 to 002. Essentially what we do is we send a request to the wasmCloud host to scale down the older component.
Okay.
Uh, and then we send a request to scale up the component with the newer OCI reference. So um, I think maybe there's a couple of things happening. It's kind of been in our backlog for a little while to send the update component, which kind of does like an update in place.
Okay.
Um, what seems a little bit more worrying here. I see that it did tell me if I'm wrong, but it looks like it
Yeah.
updated to 002 because that's what I see in the like logging output. But
Oh,
that
this one here. Sorry, that was hard coded. Ignore this.
uh,
If you're
okay.
looking at that power. Oops, hold on.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, it's hard
But
coded,
here,
but
yeah.
yeah, I see
Oh,
in the first log update that it had config 001. Is that right?
no, 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 that was hard. But I think this is the issue. The component will be scaled, but the image reference will not be updated.
Hmm.
And then I don't think it actually took 002. Um, Although, hang on, it did say stopped component 001. Started. Oh yeah, here. Oh, you're right. You're right. It says started component 002. Okay,
Yeah,
so maybe that's a misleading log.
which honestly, whether it's a misleading log or maybe if it's inconsistent, like you didn't see this behavior before. Honestly, the weirder thing is that your config is empty. That's the one that I don't really have a knee-jerk
Yeah.
reaction to.
I don't
Um,
know, Lucas is asking, curious what's happening in config data KV during the update.
yeah.
That's a good question. What's the easiest way to check that?
Do you have nats installed, like the command line?
I think I do somewhere. Yeah, hold on.
If you do nats kvels,
Hold on. That's KVLS.
using a Jetstream domain.
Hold on.
Oh,
Nope. Maybe hold on. Oh, that's the production. Um, I don't think I do. It's just a regular, just wash def up. I think that's how I started.
Okay.
Interesting though.
Um, hmm. Are you?
Okay, maybe I forget something.
Yeah, I
ls.
was
I should just
wondering. Do you have a Nats context that you're using that's like pointing somewhere,
no.
or this is going local?
This should all be local. Yeah, I don't have a context. Hang on. I can do. Oh, interesting.
Context.
Okay, I never did that setup. I have to check into so something. I guess there's a context setup somewhere that I wasn't aware of. Okay.
Mhm.
Cool.
Yeah, Lucas's thing is yeah. So if you do a KVLS with that config data underscore default bucket, yep. And then if you do a KV get and then that value at the end, the Rust underscore hello world, whatever. So, mm, can you do that
Oh,
else again?
the ls.
Yeah,
Yep.
can you do it again?
Oh, hang on. Interesting. So that's probably because it's gone, right? It doesn't show up in my logs either, or in my tool. Hang on, let me
Yeah.
try something. If oh, what are the odds that I find this now? Too much going on. Um, because if I redeploy, oh, it's over here. Hold on. If I redeploy, give me a sec. If we do 003,
Mhm.
redeploy the app. Um, make sure I grab that. Now if we run, oh, hang on, why didn't it do? Yeah, so now it's back. I only just, so now if I go back here again and run that kv command, yeah, now I have two. Okay. So it literally just disappears from the bucket. Very
Um,
interesting.
Can you double check what Lucas was saying? I
Also,
what his is like the oh I we did check that there were no gnats there. I always check about gnats with a yeah, this could definitely be the race condition too.
yeah, like if you have a Docker container and a NAT server port or a NAT server process, that's why I asked you to just run ls a couple of times to
yeah, yeah,
get a
yeah.
load balance between the two.
I'm running just all the OpenTelemetry stuff and the registry. That's all
Yeah.
that's running.
Yeah, okay. So
Hmm.
if I had to guess,
Yeah.
uh, which, guessing is bad, but if I had to guess, when Wadm, when you deploy a new version of an application, we essentially do a diff to figure out what's the difference between what you have, deployed and what's going to change. And as you go on to your version 002, yeah, I think
Yeah, so that.
www. That's a good thing that you can do while I'm spieling. Um, if when the component updates, that is likely updating its like in Wadam's state. It thinks, oh, this component's updated, the image ref changed. Like I'm going to drop, I'm gonna scale this component down. I'm gonna delete the config that's associated with it, and then I'm gonna scale the new one up. And I think there's got to be some piece of that that doesn't properly create the config
Yeah. Yeah.
again. Now it shouldn't be deleting the config at all in theory because it didn't change. Um,
Maybe it's part of taking down the component. It's like nobody else uses that config. We don't need it. I don't know. I never looked at the code.
that makes sense. There's basically this relationship where like, the in order for the component to start, the config has to exist. So in Wadm, we create the config and then we create the component. Um, yeah, it seems like there's something missing there, but this definitely seems like a bug. It
Okay.
it looks like the updating from 001 to 002 worked in this scenario. Um,
Yeah, it seems like I can double check that. I can deploy two codes with two different logs, obviously, two versions and text. But
yeah, Yeah. Yeah, we can see because that sounds like a slightly separate issue, but
Yeah,
um yeah, I think this really just comes down to something in the upgrade logic in wadm um is it's computing a somewhat incomplete diff, like
sounds
in
like it. Yeah.
big, yeah.
Could
Um,
you try listening for lattice cloud events?
yeah,
Yeah.
that's whenever you're debugging any of this stuff, if you do a nats sub um uh wasmbus.evt dot caret, like the open diamond bracket, uh the other one like pointing to the right.
Oh, yeah.
How do you name these? Yeah, if you do this, yeah.
Not done.
Um, if you do this, it will listen to all of the events that happen in the Wasm Cloud system, like the cloud events.
Oh, right. I see.
Now, most of these should be published out on traces too, but when you do a deploy, this is a really easy way to see like, oh, my component was scaled down, my config was deleted, whatever. So,
wasmbus.ebt greater sign. That's right.
yep, that's the one.
Oh, hang
Mm.
on. Oh, I know,
Oh,
I know.
context.
I didn't do that. No context thingy. Um,
Yeah, I was thinking it wouldn't be a problem if it's just Jetstream domain, but that's probably pointing up at your like
something's weird to that. Anyway, let's try.
if you use Synadia, they usually drop you like straight into a context.
Okay, got two. I got a few. Okay. Config set.
Yeah, so here you did the health check status is just going to providers. Host heartbeat happens every 30 seconds, but the only thing that happened on that deploy because was the config set. Um,
But that's for the Hello World custom con. Oh, that's mine, I guess. Okay, cool. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Maybe. Okay. I'll open a bug. It's probably legit something that's not exactly right. Um.
Yeah, that sounds
hmm,
great. Yeah, Mike, thank you so much again for coming on and showing this.
Yeah. Anytime.
In that bug report, if you could include some of those events to like the just you could get rid of any host heartbeats or whatever, but if you can show in the event log like, oh, my component undeployed, new component got deployed, but then my config got deleted but not set, that would be super super helpful for
Yeah. Yeah.
track.
For sure. I'll make sure I put everything that's relevant in there. But yeah, thanks for helping me troubleshoot. Definitely got some new tools I can use to see what's going on as well. Maybe I'll figure it out.
Yeah, for sure.
Awesome.
Let me see, because I think that some of this would definitely be useful in our troubleshooting documentation. Um,
Hmm.
here, let me share. Especially for folks haven't like don't use Nats on the every, or haven't used Nats before, they're coming into here. Sorry, let me close my door. We're doing it live. If you haven't used Nats before, then some of that stuff might not like you might not know how to subscribe on a random, subject. You might not know, what the specific like event subjects are. And we have some information looks like on um, invoking components. We have some things with like wash by, which is good. Oh, hey, don't look at that. But I don't know if we have anything on just general Nats debugging. Um,
Yeah, that's all good.
maybe taking a step back from there. Ideally, you should have all of the information to track that down in like your OpenTelemetry dashboards. Maybe that's a better in
Yeah. Yeah.
a better what do you call it, North Star or whatever for us to shoot for. But yeah.
No, I think it's good. I got a good way of, I'll open a bug, make sure I capture everything. I'll make sure all the logs are in there, traces everything, and then we'll see. I'll dig through the code as well. Maybe I'll see something that steps up.
Yeah, that sounds
Nice.
great. If you wanted to pair on like getting a salute or need any pointers in the code too, happy to help if that'll
Sounds
get
good.
your cup of happiness.
Yeah, sounds good. Yeah, thanks very much. Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Um yeah, I think I maybe dominated a lot of the talking there. Taylor, Lucas, do you guys have any other thoughts, speculation, things that Mike should dig into while he's here? Anybody's welcome.
Yeah, no, not really. I think the getting the events there, taking playing with nat sub, and if you want to kind of listen for everything, you can also just do the nat sub carrots, and then you're gonna watch everything that is happening to the system, every single command going from wadm to the hosts. So that's probably the best way to start looking into this. Just one thing with word of caution here with the sub nats command there, because you are subbing, you are receiving the message, and sometimes you're taking away the message from the host that's supposed to be receiving it. So just keep that in mind in terms of no responders.
Yeah, that's good to know. Thank you for that. I might have to scratch my head on that if it happened. Nice. Cheers.
Alrighty. Well, hey, that is actually that was the main agenda item that we had for today, just to make sure that we had some good time to chat through any potential issues and talk about Wadham. But um, let's see, Yordis isn't here. It's something else that maybe I could share, but I'll wait for him. I think that that's all I had on the agenda for today. Does anybody have anything that they wanted to bring up from the roadmap or from the broader like Wasm ecosystem that we should talk about today? Alrighty. Well, hey, we'll call it the shortest wasmCloud community meeting of August so far. Thanks everybody for coming out and chatting, and thank you again, Mike, for coming on and chatting this out in the community meeting. Just a note for everybody, always welcome to propose these kinds of like discussion, like, hey, I'm running into an issue, can you just help me out with it? Always happy to do it in this kind of forum. It's a great place to do it. All right, well then with that, I think we'll call it for today. Happy Wednesday. Have a wasm cloud day, everybody. See you next week.